If you want to cut round with a sheepskin on, go for it. But I mean, I just use it to keep my back warm, like.
Oh my god.
Right, it looks insane.
It is insane.
But that is now the warmest, comfiest Overland chair you have ever seen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, for the second video on my YouTube channel, I've somehow managed to get Rich Torn to sit here and have a conversation with me. You alright, Rich? How's it going, mate? Oh yeah. So, she's very informal, as you can tell.
So what we decided to do, as true Overlanders, we don't just sit in the sunshine doing the show pony stuff.
No, we sit in the freezing cold
doing
the show pony stuff.
We'll look at this beautiful scenery of a quarry.
Yeah, quarry, car parts everywhere. It's basically the Manchester canal system. If you squint hard enough, you're in Manchester at the canal system. It's great.
But it's kit testing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. It's better to come somewhere like this, middle of winter, nobody else is about, smash your vehicles up, find the weak spot, and
then fix it later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pro-Track's in at this place we're at the minute.
Yes.
He's in here
yeah. So this is where they do the Land Rover experience. You buy yourself a £100,000 car and they'll give you half a day's training and show you what it'll actually do.
And then you can watch a Sprinter van do exactly the same thing.
We are getting some funny looks, aren't we?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, they must feel really, really good about themselves in the brand new Land Rovers. But yeah,
Me and Mel Builder's van.
yeah. Speaking of vehicles, let's talk Overland. What do you look for in an Overland vehicle?
Right, so my opinion is changing over time.
Yep.
I am getting old man syndrome.
Yeah, I can tell.
I have gone...
You've got a Mercedes to start with. You've gone full old man with that.
Yeah, I've gone from 90 to 110 to another 110 to Discovery, back to the Defenders again with the 127, and they are awesome. But 99.99999% of the time, you do not need that last little bit of capability.
Yeah.
And for that last little bit of capability,
you can dump the clutch on a Sprinter van.
Yeah. And this cruises at speed, no noise, one finger on the steering wheel, passing cars in the outside lane, and it still performs on this.
From what I've seen today, mate, genuinely very well. I would like to see a lock-in rear diff, or even a lock-in centre diff, because like you said, it's all off traction control.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen that put in.
The Series 1 does have the triple lock.
Yeah.
But that's more agricultural, again, going back towards your Defender kind of generation.
That's what you tried to get away from, to be honest with you. I mean, what I did in Morocco, maybe you'd struggle on some of the sand bit, but there's only 20% of the Sahara Desert that is sand, so...
I'd compare this to like a Land Rover Discovery 2 type traction control system.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but for the rest of its capabilities and what it does...
Should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be bang on.
I mean, you've seen it picking wheels up all over there, and it still gets where it needs to go.
It gets where it wants to. It's a bit of a aggression about it and what have you, and it gives you some funny looks if you don't know what you're looking at for the first time. But yeah, there's no problem with that whatsoever. It'll get you where you need to be.
So I am going more and more and more away from the Land Rover brand.
Understandable.
Because unless you're rocking something like a 300 TDI 110 Wolf,
now
you can't say Billy Basic, fix it with a spanner and a stern look.
I would disagree with that. Anything past Discovery 2, excluding Defender, you genuinely need £800 worth of diagnostic tools for it. And I can prove it because if you've got a Discovery 3, take the passenger seat out, try and open the boot. That is how that vehicle is wired up, and every other vehicle since is wired up the same way. Nothing makes sense. You can't trace a fault because everything is wired into everything else. That's the problem with it. Whereas I was a bit wary, as you know, I've just rebuilt the Defender Puma 2.2 engine.
How many times?
Technically only come apart once. The problem, funnily enough, was an electrical fault, but I've discovered that the electrical sensors that you put in have to be genuine sensors.
Yeah.
Anything Delphi or anything like that, it doesn't like it. You might get away with it, but it's not going to like it. That was what delayed everything, was just figuring out, well, I've changed the sensor so it should work, but it doesn't. It needs to be genuine. But they are extremely, very low electrically put together. There's maybe, off the top of my head, 8 sensors that run the engine. Yeah. And you can get away with running it on just 2.
I know you've said it's insulated, it's comfy and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And that's great when you built well like you.
Yeah.
But
Your standard Defender, there's a lot of work you need to do. There's a lot of work you need to do.
If you've indulged in far too much Frey Bentos like myself, it's still not a very big space to sit for 8-10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like with mine, I've got the RX-8 seats in it. I've even got to the point where it's auto, so I've moved the seats in a touch so you can get a bit more room on your arms and stuff, and it's good.
Yeah, but it's still Defender.
It's still Defender.
Yeah.
It's still agricultural. You still have to wrap a t-shirt around the handbrake so you don't burn your leg if you're wearing shorts.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And even the Puma is exactly the same as that because it's the transfer box where that heat comes from and then rises up through the cable. And so I completely understand that. However, there will always be that part of me that understands that a Defender on the right day is the best vehicle in the world to be in. If
you could airdrop a Defender to the Moroccan sand dunes, I'd say it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. But on the way there...
But when you've got to spend multiple days driving there and multiple days driving back, I'm going to say take a Sprinter.
In mine, it's not so bad. Like, you've seen it. You know there's a lot of work gone into it. It does drive like a car. It's really well set up and extremely capable. Sound deadening. The sound system as well that's in it. And it's creature comforts, that are in it. But, again, it's still a Defender. You're going to be much more comfortable in one of those. But what you do sacrifice with that is on the wrong day.
Yes.
That one wrong day.
Yeah, and this is where I need the winch.
Yeah.
Because it is your safety net.
Yeah.
Because like with that up on that axle twister, where I know my Defender would have rocked up that last little bit.
Yeah.
This, I could air down, give it a bit more beans, but then you got the potential of breaking something.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of stress on that drive line through that traction control system.
Exactly. So I could just get the winch out and just tug me that last little bit.
Yeah, completely understand.
But what I would say is this being a little bit less capable. This, you can get 4 people to Morocco and sleep 4 people.
Yeah, definitely.
If you've
got a family, if you've got a family and you want to take people, with you on your big trips and that to me is the perfect vehicle.
I'd say perfect multiple person Overlander.
Yeah, perfect multiple person Overlander. Yeah. How are you fitting water tanks then?
So the water tank, I've never been a heavy user of water. So I'm only having a 50-litre tank over the rear arch.
Yeah.
That's between that and my Lifesaver at another 20 litres.
You bang on the money. Yeah,
I've never, apart from a shower.
Yeah. So we have 70 litres chassis slung on the Defender. And that was... I always had water left in it, but I was touching the end of it in Morocco. When you're getting across places. And that'd be like with a shower for me and the missus and, and some cooking water and drinking water and things like that. And touching the end of the 70 litres quite quickly within 3-4 days, So when you're unsupported, you tend to not have a shower, and then that'll last you maybe 6-7 days and things like that. Then, but yeah, 70 litres I say is, like you say, you've got it, and 70 litres is where you're happy with.
I'd even be shit at the fan scenario. You could run your grey water back through your Lifesaver.
Yeah, you absolutely could. Yeah.
It's naughty, but you could.
It's not though, because that's what the Lifesaver's for.
Yeah.
However, there's another great product I've seen. It's called Guzzle H2O.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
So it's a box about this big, and it's brilliant because what you can do is it comes with a hose pipe. You put the hose pipe in the end. You can put it in that water there from the koi water. It comes with a pump built in. Filters it once it comes through the box, and then just pumps it out the other end. So you put it in between your water filler cap.
Perfect vehicle tip.
Perfect. It's great because it means you don't have to carry the water in the Lifesaver and things like that. And it's it packs down so much smaller. In this, you've not got a problem.
Yeah.
But in a Defender 110, quite limited on space and things like that. So that little nice parcel essentially, and I can guarantee that I've got clean water. It's another great product, but it's nowhere near as cheap as the Lifesaver.
I just like the Lifesaver. One, I've run it for years.
Yeah.
And I've drunk water out of a muddy puddle on an off-road centre to prove a point. And it was fine.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
And it's proven. It's something that's gone all around the world with a lot of agencies, so it's...
Yeah. I would not hesitate to buy one of them. Okay.
So that's water. Then, your biggest debate with Overland now is everybody's got a fetish for induction cooking. Right, and this is where Overland meets prepping.
Yeah. It's a weird...
I get it, because the batteries and all the technology is so good. It is no drama whatsoever. Hammering your batteries to cook, then they'll replenish with the solar and the driving.
Fast.
I get it.
Fast as well.
You're still wrong.
See, I like the gas cooking system that I got in my Defender, but as you know, with everything I've built's not been as big as the Pins, so we've never had as much room and things like that. So you've got to think outside the box a little bit. Whereas if I've already got the battery in place and I've already got a sink unit,
Yes.
I can remove those gas hobs, get rid of my gas locker box and my gas, which is heavy, and then I can work like that. Because I only cook 1-2 meals a day maximum.
Whereas the system in this, it's excessive and it's a borderline wrong. But with my weird brain, I have to have redundancy. So it's getting the underslung gas tank on it.
Okay.
So it's just the bayonet fill up.
Yeah.
I know it's getting harder to get, but you can still get it. And then that does my Truma night heater.
See, that's very weird of you because you're always at almost a pinnacle of technology constantly, always changing something, always keeping up to date with something. So to see you're still sticking with the gas is a bit
I can use the George Foreman on the on the inverter. I do carry a George Foreman and a coffee machine because I'm getting soft in my old age.
Yeah.
But so I suppose that is another kind of cooking, and I've just admitted you're right by saying I use a George Foreman and cook on electric.
Vision softly creeping.
Ha! Gotcha.
You have got me. You have got me.
But predominantly, there's the 2 gas rings, just because it's quick, it's easy, and I think it's very efficient for the energy that you're using versus how
An inverter running an induction cooking can tank quite a lot of power.
I've got the Truma night heater, which also does my hot water system.
Yep.
So I'm using the gas for the hot water, I'm using the gas for the blow air heater, and I'm using the gas for cooking.
Yeah.
But being the paranoid nutter that I am, I also run a diesel night heater. I've got the wood stove that I cook on most of the time outside.
There's no room left in your van because it's just full of shit you don't need.
No, I am a gear whore.
Yeah. But at least you always know you've got that ability to cook somewhere.
2 is 1, 1 is none, and I've got 7.
What you don't know is the back of Rich's van has 5 spare wheels on it.
At one point, I was running 6 wheels on my Land Rover.
You are absolutely insane when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, but think about it, right?
Are you sure you're not a paranoid schizophrenic?
He is. The reason I rocked around with 2 spare wheels on the back of my Land Rover is, could you imagine how much of an idiot you'd feel if you bust a tyre and put your spare on and you've got no spare?
Why don't you carry a tyre repair kit?
I've got a tyre repair kit as well. 2 is 1, 1 is...
Those tyre repair kits are good.
I've got a few of them.
I've repaired like 6 punctures in one tyre and driven 300 miles on it. And I changed the tyre, but I'd be confident to carry on driving.
It's a semi-permanent fix.
Yeah.
If it's in the middle, I'd be confident of just leaving that.
I've repaired things on a sidewall.
If it gets you back, it's... But
Did it get me out of a really bad situation? Yeah.
I've got 2 or 3 tyre repair kits just because every time I go to a show, I end up spending another £5 and putting another one in my pocket because you just can't help yourself.
you can't go wrong with... Like, the great thing about a tyre repair kit is, I've done it myself, is once... You might not have the puncher. It might be somebody else who's got the puncher and you might not have the spare wheel that'll fit on their vehicle. And they, lo and behold, they've come out on a laning day or something like that. They've not brought a spare wheel with them.
Well, that was actually a big thing, and it's something that's underrated, and it'll get worse because a few years ago when we were all rocking Discos and Defenders, we all made sure that we ran 265, 75, 60 because everybody's wheel would fit everybody's wheel.
Yeah. It's a great idea, but it only works if you've all got the same axle studs.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all D1s, all Defenders.
Yeah.
And we all ran the same wheels, same offset, same tyres, because it was that spate where there was walkers chucking spikes and stuff in puddles.
Yeah. Luckily, them days are starting to see the back of it. You can still hear about it every now and then, but especially when you can take out 4 tyres quite comfortably, just because some idiot has decided to put a load of spikes in a pull.
Even down to my Sankeys, all 265, 75s.
Yeah. I think the 265, 75 is a fantastic tyre for Overland because you can get it anywhere. You know, we drove through France, we drove through Spain, we drove into Africa, and that tyre was on the shelf no matter where you went.
Yeah. That is my go-to, and it's like on this, it sits a little bit wide, and I could probably do with some spats just to stop it chucking stones at me.
Yeah.
Panels, but it works.
It works. Yeah. What's your favourite tyre?
Cooper STT
You
Pro.
are wrong on so many levels.
I've run them for a decade. And I've had the STTs, and now I'm running the STT Pros.
Yeah.
And I took them BF Goodriches off that, and the sidewalls in this are so much better. It rides better on the road, everything.
So, the reason I don't like the Cooper STT Pro is because I had it on the Discovery 3, the one that's all kitted out and big, and I couldn't get along with the weight. For some reason, that tyre on that car, it just didn't, it wasn't working, it wasn't singing to itself.
Yep.
And I changed over to some BFGs, and the world just changed. It was like a completely different car, and I think it's
on the
put
road,
me off.
I'd probably say wet motorway. it's noticeable that the BFG all-terrain was better.
Right.
But for driving round, and because this is quite a lump, you notice the sidewalls a lot.
Yeah,
when you're hammering the back roads, and these are a lot firmer.
Yeah. But it's also a mud terrain tyre compared to an all-terrain, so you're going to get that strength as well. Yeah.
And just for bits like when we were leaving the campsite, everybody's snaking and going all over the place.
Yeah.
And then I'm in a chuffing van, and I just couldn't lose traction. I just went along, no crabbing, no nothing.
Yeah. I found them fantastic off-road. I just couldn't understand them on the road. There was no predictability with it, with the Discovery. Maybe that's because of the amount of electrics that's in the Discovery trying to chime in and do its thing.
Because the Discovery is so refined that was almost the bit of agriculture.
That's a good point. Never thought about that as
Whereas I'm used to running a wobble box 130 Defender camper van. And putting them on was just like, still wobbles.
Yeah. However, the mud BFGs that are on the Discovery, fantastic. So
because this came factory with mud BFGs on.
Did
it's utility.
Right. Yeah.
So that would be the choice. It's just because I've been with Cooper so many years and they've worked.
You like to stick with the brand you know.
Yeah.
I'm the same with BFG. I like to stick with the brand I know. I've tried a lot of other tyres.
Because there's nothing. I could have put BFG muds on this. It's the same money.
Yeah.
But it's just...
They used to be the cheaper option as well, didn't they, originally, back in the day?
Yeah.
So what would you never leave home without?
Oh, see, this is the problem with being a gear whore.
It is, but you've got to think back to basics.
Yeah, but back to my bug out bag. Because worst case, just walk off.
Yeah. So for me, it's no matter what vehicle you've got, no matter what kind of vehicle, whether it's independent suspension or beam axle, forget all that for a minute. Let's say you've just got your first vehicle. For me, it's the first aid kit.
Yeah.
If you've got a heart condition, it's your heart medicine. That's the first thing for me.
You've seen the size of my first aid kit. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
isn't it? But I go out and play silly games with multiple people.
Yeah.
So
we carry 2 tourniquets, 2 FFDs per person in the vehicle, and then there's always what I like to call the team medic pack as well, which is then for anybody else. I mean, we were in Morocco. There's people out there. They do all these little tours and stuff like the locals. And the one thing they wanted was medicine and stuff like that. I was like, well, I can't give you medicine because I've only got enough to last me this trip, no matter what happens. And I've worked it all out, and this is what I need. But what I can give you is my spare FFDs and tourniquets because I know I've still got a backup of them. Do you know what I mean? And that's the sort of stuff we were giving out.
And this is like I did that 5 items video, and you still get people. It's like, what's the first things you buy for an adventure van? And there's people saying like, oh, solar panels, awnings, things. It's like, really?
No.
So when things go wrong, you want to charge your phone?
Yeah.
It's.
You need to work out.
I think these are either the people that haven't gone off the grid, or they just haven't had any drama in their life where they don't prioritise.
Yeah. I think a lot of YouTubers out there as well put a bad message across as well, that they make it seem so easy to go to these remote areas.
Definitely.
And people think that they can just, get the phone charger and if you're going to go to the shop and do you know what I mean? Or you were going to see your mum who lived 500 miles away, they just pack those kind of things, whereas it's not as simple as what people make out.
I watched one recently, and it was that family that was in the, I want to say it's like Isuzu Canter 4x4 truck. It's a small truck, it's like a 7.5 ton truck.
Right.
Family camper, and they were going across one of the deserts, but there was a bit of rain, and they just buried it, and they were not getting that out.
Yeah.
And they ended up there for weeks. They set the EPIRB off, plane came over, dropped them some supplies and a sat phone, and basically said,
"What we can do
back in a week or so."
Yeah.
And
if they just had some recovery boards and.
He dug for days.
Did he?
He literally dug for days. It was that because it's when you break the crust and it had been raining.
It had sunk through to the soft level, and unfortunately that soft level is soft for a long time. Yeah.
But that showed that. I mean, luckily he'd got everything that he needed: water, food, supplies to keep his family in that location for weeks on end until they could get a heli out and.
And evac.
Yeah, and then they got back and went back with some more vehicles and pulled the thing out.
Right.
But still. Yeah. It takes that one little bit where you just go chug, 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 and you're buried.
Yeah. I like to travel in a 2-vehicle packet, to be honest with you, at least.
Yeah.
Once you get over 3 and things like that, it can be a bit difficult, because when you're going around towns and stuff, you want to keep comms with people and, and make things simple. But I would say if you're doing your remote trips, try and take 2. As long as you've got the contacts in the area you're going to, and you know that location's got decent cell service and things like that, then absolutely go as a 1-packet vehicle if you know what you're doing and you're quite experienced in it. But if it's your first time out or you've only maybe done 2 or 3 trips, you definitely want
Even just going laning.
Yeah, the amount of people you see on Facebook as well.
It takes the silliest thing. Like, you go out, it's sub-zero, bit of black ice. You're up in North Yorkshire where the roads have got a real camber to them.
Yeah.
And you're in that pissy little 1 foot ditch at the side.
Pulls you in.
What are you going to do? Crab down the road for half a mile till you get enough traction to get back up?
Yeah.
Whereas you got another vehicle, quick pull, you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So, if you've enjoyed this, I reckon, drop some comments down below, some questions, subjects that you want covering, because we're going to link up in another couple of weeks. So we will do a nice warm by the fire woodland bushcraft type camp.
Do with the fire, couldn't we really?
Definitely need the fire.
Need a fire.
Yeah. And
let's not see each other again without a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, show your friends. If you want a truck building, I'll do it. No problem. See you in a bit.
Love you. Bye.
Let's get comfy, shall we?
Oh, do you want to see full Overland comfy?
No, because you'll come out wearing a fucking rabbit onesie or something.
You seen the big sheepskin I've got from my chair?
Oh, for God's sake.
When you go Norway or anything like that, you've got to get one. Because you've got the fire in front of you, half of you warm, half of you freezing. Sit on the sheepskin, warm all the way around.
I can't say I've ever seen one person in Norway wearing one of them, mate.
No, you don't wear it. It's for your chair.
What are you fucking playing at? This is a great fucking start. Can't get this open, can I?